Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is quite an important one to me and something that I really wanted to do. This week, if you didn't know, is Panda's Mental Health Awareness Week. Their first ever one was last year and I worked with them on the campaign, and again they're doing another one this year, but with the focus being on perinatal mental health, so mental health whilst you are pregnant. And I also believe that Channel Mum are also getting involved, and they are making this week their week as well to talk about mental health whilst pregnant. And they've been doing some live videos with the lovely Tilly from Pandas and things on Facebook and Twitter along with Pandas. So do go check out both of them. I will leave their links below. But yeah, if you are new to my channel, my name is Natasha. I am married, I have 2 children. I have Elise, who is 6, and Charlie, who is 3, and I'm currently pregnant. How many weeks am I now? I'm 20 weeks tomorrow with a little girl. Hence the out of breath tends to be a symptom that I'm really struggling with at the moment. But yeah, I'm expecting our 3rd and she will be due the end of January. And a little background to me, during my 2nd pregnancy with Charlie, I suffered with perinatal mental health. I suffered with anxiety and depression. And it's something that hugely impacted my life. And only in the last year have I felt comfortable and confident enough to open up on this kind of platform and talk about it. And since I have, the response I have had from other women and other mums has been overwhelming. I will leave the link to the video that I did sharing my full story, so I won't go fully into my story. I'll just kind of recap a little bit. But basically, from the minute I found out I was pregnant, I just wasn't happy to be pregnant. It was a bit of a surprise pregnancy, and everyone said, oh, you know, you've got a lot going on in your life at the moment and you've just found out you're pregnant. It's probably completely normal how you're feeling, you'll feel better. But it just got worse and worse and worse. And again, without kind of going too much into the story, I never knew that mental health whilst you were pregnant was a thing. You hear a lot about anxiety and depression in general, and you hear a lot about postnatal depression, but you don't really hear a lot about it during pregnancy. And I think everyone assumes that pregnancy is supposed to be this happy and magical time, and aside from like the morning sickness and the aches and pains and the out of breath, you're supposed to enjoy it and you're supposed to love it. But that wasn't the case during my 2nd pregnancy, and it's not the case for a lot of women either. So I did eventually, kind of round about 19-20 weeks, did say to my midwife, look, you know, I've not been feeling right. I've got a very negative view towards my pregnancy. I can't get excited about it. I haven't bought the baby anything. I don't want to buy the baby anything. I don't even want to buy maternity clothes. It was affecting relationships I had, family, friends, personal ones, and it just consumed my life. And thankfully I got referred to my local perinatal mental health unit, and they were brilliant, and I got the help I needed. And by the time I had about 4 or 5 weeks left of my pregnancy, I was able to get a bit excited about becoming a mum again for the 2nd time, and I slowly started to feel like myself again, or as much as you can do when you're just about to give birth. But why I wanted to do this video was I was contacted by Pandas to ask if I would be willing to share my story on a larger platform, and I actually had ITV News come round to my home, and I jumped at the chance. I said, yeah, great. And then once I'd agreed to it, I suddenly thought, wow, a lot of people are going to see this, and do I want to put it right out there? And those little anxious feelings did start to come back, but I thought, actually no, do you know what, there's so many women out there that are probably struggling and suffering in silence, and I don't want them to feel the way I felt. So I thought, I'm just going to do it. So I did, and I wrote a blog post about it, and I have the link to the interview. So again, I will leave that in the description box below if you would like to go and watch it. But the response I've had from it has been so overwhelming, and if I get a bit emotional, hormones, but it just really means well to me, because I've had so many women get in touch to say they are either now going to go and speak to their midwife or their doctor without me, because of what I said, that they too suffered, and they're so glad that they weren't the only ones. I've had one woman who said that she sat there and sobbed watching it, because how she felt, it had a name, and she thought there was something wrong with her, and she was too embarrassed and ashamed of how she was feeling, how she felt towards her baby. I've had friends of friends get in touch with me saying that they had watched it and said that they didn't know that it was a thing, and if they had, they would have opened up to their midwife. And to me, that makes me feel incredibly sad that there are so many women like myself who didn't know and who don't know that mental health is possible during pregnancy. It's not a happy time for everybody, and it is quite normal to have those feelings. So I feel honoured and really privileged to have had that opportunity to share my story and open up and help a lot of women. And so my plea really to do on here is, if you think you are suffering from anxiety or depression and you're pregnant, or even if you're not pregnant, talk to somebody, tell your partner how you're feeling, tell a friend, go and speak to your GP most importantly, or speak to your midwife. They are not there to judge you. They are not there to tell you you are a bad person. They are not there to tell you you're a bad mum. They are there to help you. And I think the more we talk about it, the more normal it will be. You wouldn't shy away from the fact if you'd had the flu, or if you had an illness that you suffered with, like Crohn's, or you'd had cancer. It's an illness. It needs to be treated just like all those other illnesses. It has a form of treatment that you can have, and you can and you will get better from it. And so if I can try and turn what was a horrible, an awful experience, and an awful time in my life into a positive one, then, you know, I will just be happy that some good can come of what was such an awful situation. And I'm very much a person that I believe that everything happens for a reason, and that's how I make sense of things. So when something happens, I try and think, right, why has this happened? Why has this happened to me? Let's try and pull the positive out of it and like move on. And it's taken me years to figure out why I went through it and why mental health chose me, because it doesn't discriminate. It can happen to anybody, and it might be or it might not be, but I believe that this was why, because I can help other women, and it feels so good and amazing to help other women. And when they say that they now feel better because of something I've said, it just, like that cheesy line, makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. And so yeah, like I said, I'm trying to turn what was an awful experience into a positive one by trying to help other women. So before I continue and ramble along, if you think you are suffering, go and speak to your GP, go speak to your midwife, open up to somebody. Pandas Foundation are an amazing charity who help women during and after pregnancy. I will leave the link below to them. Channel Mum have a whole page and forum about mental health, and there are lots of women on there, including myself, sharing their stories of mental health. So go and check them out as well. I will leave all the links that I think you may need below. But I just want to thank you for watching this video, and please share it with somebody who you think it may help. If you think that somebody is suffering, have a conversation with them and let them know that you're there, and let them know that you're not there to judge them, you're there to support them. And when somebody feels so alone and like there's no one in the world that understands how they feel, that's what they need to hear. So let's make it normal to talk about mental health, because mental health is normal. And yeah, let's not make it a taboo subject anymore. But I want to thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry if this was longer than I had anticipated or a little bit more rambly, but it will mean the world to me to show your support and to show your support to other women like me out there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.